Hello, my name is Johnnie Calloway. I'm a resident of Kansas City, Missouri, and today I will talk about why I support House Bill 729. My daughter, who's sitting here, Jalea, was a kindergartner at Northfleet Elementary, a public school. Immediately I could see this wasn't an environment where she could prosper, and that leaving her in this school would have been detrimental for her long-term education and possibly her life. At that time, I was a full-time, single father, but I knew I had to do something to make a difference. So I applied for a position at Notre Dame de Sion, which is a private school in Kansas City, as a technology support specialist. After being selected as one of 53 candidates for the position, I transitioned my daughter to private school where she's been able to flourish in ways that I would have never imagined. She attended Sion from 1st to 4th grade until COVID affected our family. I recently gained full custody of my son Johnnie, sitting here. My son Johnnie attended Academy Lafayette, a charter school in Kansas City. For the first time in a long time, things were running pretty smooth in our life, and then COVID-19 happened. Due to his school switching to virtual, I was not able to give him the proper parental support that he needed, so I began looking into options that could accommodate both of my children. I then found Crossroads Academy. They were highly rated, had space for both children, and it also continued the trend of a positive environment for my children. Thanks to this, both of my children speak 3 languages, and neither one of them know who Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion is. My story is very much the exception in inner city Kansas City. Most parents in my community don't have options and are forced to keep their kids in failing schools, continuing the cycle of poverty and undereducation that runs rampant in my community. I was one of those kids, which is why I know firsthand that my community needs more choices. With the passing of this bill, more parents and students will be able to experience the opportunities that my children have been blessed to have. I'm the same kid who grew up in the City Union Mission, which is a homeless shelter. I'm the same kid that watched a man be shot on my front porch when I was 16 years old. I'm the same kid that graduated high school with no lights, no water, and no gas in the house. I'm the same kid who had a mother overdose on opioids. I understand from personal experience, education is the key to going wherever you want to go in life. Thank you guys for your time, and I'm open to any questions if you have any.
Thank you, sir. Representative Hicks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's more of just a statement. We had heard Representative Banger talk about it earlier, but first and foremost, I want to thank you. You're the prime reason for your kids' education. You got involved. You took the initiative. I wish my mother would have done that. So first, I just want to thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Now, in your situation, how do you see a bill like this helping your children with you? How does it work for you as the parent?
Particularly for myself, I understand that my children are good because as a father, I stepped up. But I also understand I come from a community where 80% of the kids are born out of wedlock, and almost none of I'm the only friend that grew up with a father. None of my friends had fathers. So outside of sports coaches, we were lost. And school was that supplement. We didn't have areas in school. I was lucky to be a really good basketball player, so that kept me out of trouble. I just had a friend recently who committed a dumber homicide maybe 2 weeks ago. He's not a bad person, but when you don't grow up with a father, so no one shows you love, you're in school where as a boy, we understand that school doesn't work the same way for boys as it does for girls. So it's naturally for you to gravitate towards the street. I probably have 50 friends in jail right now for murder, and I probably have another 50 friends that have been murdered. And I can honestly say none of them were bad people. I laughed with them, I joked with them, I played with them. They were just lost in the world. And if they had a better school, if they had a STEAM program, if they had something that would gauge their interest, they wouldn't gravitate to the guns. They would gravitate to the knowledge, because we're all very intellectual people. I mean, Tuskegee Institute was built in 1881 by Booker T. Washington. We could do the same thing in 2020 if we had the resources and we weren't gravitating to the negative things of life. So while I understand this, my kids are great because I stepped up as a father. I'm here because I know more children need a father figure, and I want to do whatever I can to help where I come from. I don't believe that white supremacy is holding a black person back. I solely believe that we need more parents, more community involvement, and more stepping up to look out for our youth and our next generation.
Amen. Well, thank you very much. We're going to do our best to see what we can do with this bill to help you guys out. Thank you.